Hi, I'm Kate from Summertime Pools. Your peace of mind matters to us. That's why we back our pools with a 30-year structural warranty. Our commitment to excellence means we stand by the quality of our pools, giving you the confidence and assurance you deserve with your investment. To learn more, just get in touch with us and one of our friendly sales team will be more than happy to help out.
Across central Victoria, this is Win News.
Tonight, mixed reaction to the approval of a multi-million-dollar shopping centre in Kyneton. Longwood locals urge visitors to return to help get them back on their feet. And former Australian of the Year Grace Tame to speak at a Bendigo women's event. Good evening and welcome to Win News this Tuesday evening. I'm Jared Constable. Also tonight, bushfire victims encouraged to seek help in the wake of local devastation. A major retail precinct's moving ahead on the northern edge of Kyneton after years of debate and a VCAT approval overriding council's opposition. Supporters say it'll bring jobs and investment, but others aren't so sure.
A blank canvas that will soon become a 62-hectare retail and commercial precinct. But Cornerstone Kyneton's path hasn't been straightforward. Earlier proposals drawing opposition and concern from some.
It's not much fun to have things that stop this from being a nice country town, with its own stores and so on. We love our local.
This town has got fantastic coffee shops. It's got a couple of hamburger places. It's got all that stuff. We don't need to go to an American corporation.
In 2022, VCAT overruled Macedon Ranges Council's position, allowing the development to go ahead.
In my time, we started this development, bringing all the landowners together to get a consistent development plan. It's been a long time coming, but finally got through.
The Mayor says Council's focused on moving forward and ensuring the applicant delivers according to the approved plans. The development includes big retailers, commercial warehouses, entertainment venues, a service station and food and beverage outlets.
I think it'll be fantastic. I'm really actually looking forward to it.
I think locals will be more in favour.
It's understood more than 200 permanent and casual jobs will be created during Stage 1.
It's great for the town, job creation, something the town needs. Kyneton's always been a commercial town, a commercial centre for the region, so this is no different to what that is.
Stage 1's expected to be complete next year. Future timelines are yet to be announced. Natalie McGarry, Win News.
Nearly a month on from Victoria's deadly January bushfires, recovery efforts are underway across some of the state's hardest hit communities. Longwood locals are encouraging Victorians to visit and spend locally where they can and help them get back on their feet.
A town small in numbers but huge in heart. The smoke's long cleared in Longwood, but the recovery's only just beginning.
We have gone through some of the darkest days of the community. We have lost hundreds of houses, hundreds and hundreds of buildings. Livelihoods have been decimated overnight and a community that is grappling with immense loss.
January's bushfires burned more than 400,000 hectares across Victoria, destroying hundreds of homes, killing countless livestock. Small communities in the state's north and central region doing it tough.
Into the fire areas to help in that, and it's every little bit you can do for people to lift their spirits.
Everybody's been working really hard. It's been a big community effort. People near and far. If we can get some more people coming up and visiting the region and giving everyone a hand, it'd be great.
In Longwood, fire burned through 130,000 hectares, wiping out everything in its path.
When we think about rebuilding, it is not just livelihoods or fodder and fencing. It's actually about rebuilding people.
And while the heartache remains, community spirits still very much intact.
I've met people up there that have lost everything, like house, sheds, fences, everything, and the man still had a smile on his face, and I shook his hand and said, "That's inspiring."
Community leaders urging the state not to forget about them.
It almost feels like the attention moves on from a region too quickly. We actually need help now, and we're going to need help for the coming years. This recovery will be not weeks or months, this is going to be years.
Yeah, we've been closed off for a little while, so it'd be nice to see everybody.
Natalie McGarry, Win News.
A total fire ban's been declared tomorrow for Wimmera, Central and North Central Victoria. No fires can be lit between midnight tonight and midnight tomorrow night. The CFA advises people living in the affected areas to activate their bushfire plans. Road safety advocates have called on federal leaders to combat our rising road toll. They fear the government's ignoring researchers and experts calling for change.
A crisis heading in the wrong direction. Over 1,300 lives were lost on Aussie roads last year. Almost a third were vulnerable, like pedestrians and cyclists. Experts renewing calls for the federal government to take the wheel after promising to halve the toll by 2030.
We know from physics that if you're doing more than about 80 kilometres per hour and you have a head-on collision, you're probably going to die. And yet, we have so many roads in this country which are undivided and marked at 100.
The Road Safety College blaming the rising number of deaths on underinvestment in road safety design and more extreme weather. Safety upgrades often confused with basic maintenance, leaving dangerous hotspots unchanged.
This is not just about filling potholes. This is about how wide are the roads? What are the shoulders like? Are they divided? What are the curves like? There's lots of elements that go into making a road which is safe and appropriate for 100 kilometres per hour.
The latest data paints a grim picture, with the road toll rising across all states since 2021, with only the ACT recording a drop. Most fatal crashes occurring in regional and remote areas, with just a small increase in major cities.
Imagine if 4 people were dying and 100 were left seriously injured every single day when they hopped on a plane. There would be a national outcry. But for some reason, because this is on the roads, we ignore it and it's not good enough.
Speed limits in built-up areas and safety ratings on car imports also a major concern in the drive to bring down road deaths and trauma. Lillian Altman, Win News.
Task Force Summit detectives have conducted firearms testing within the search area of Mount Buffalo National Park this afternoon as they continue their hunt for Desi Freeman. More than 100 police and volunteers set out this morning for day 2 of their 5-day search, prompted by reports of a single gunshot heard hours after 2 police officers were gunned down in Popunka last year. Today's firearm testing was similar to that undertaken in November to determine more specific search locations. Police say it's possible Freeman escaped unassisted or is being harboured, but they strongly believe his remains are in the national park. More doctors are heading bush, with a sharp rise in new trainees starting as rural generalists this month. The Australian College of Rural and Remote Medicine says this year's intake is up more than 30% on the same time last year. The college trains doctors to work across general practice, emergency and hospital care in rural and remote communities. Applications for next year's intake are now open nationwide. Grace Tame will headline Bendigo's International Women's Day event later this month. Women Connect and Be Bendigo have confirmed the 2021 Australian of the Year will appear at a special In Conversation session on February 27. Tame's a survivor advocate and author, recognised nationally for campaigning against child sexual abuse and helping overturn Tasmania's gag laws for survivors. The Bendigo event will be held at the All Seasons Hotel in Strathdale on February 27 and tickets are limited. The Melbourne to Warrnambool Cycling Classic has been rescheduled due to bushfire impacts in the Otways region. Organisers say that ride, the Lockhart Energy Classic and the Port Campbell to Warrnambool Handicap will now run on February 28 and March 1. Courses and start times remain unchanged. The committee's thanked emergency services for their support in moving the event. Some entry categories will reopen, with new closing dates set later this month for riders. Coming up next on Win News Central Victoria, the financial abuse warning signs you need to be aware of, and bushfire victims encouraged to seek help in the wake of local devastation. GPs will be able to diagnose and prescribe medication for ADHD under a new state government plan. Those living with the disorder often have to navigate long wait times and high costs to see a specialist before receiving treatment.
A diagnosis that's helped Ash Matthews build an understanding of herself. The Traralgon mother was 27 when a psychiatrist diagnosed her with ADHD.
It was life-changing, actually, really validating for me as someone who'd struggled my whole life
not understanding why my brain works the way it does.
Ash spent 2 years and $1,000 navigating the health system before she was treated, which was only possible through a psychiatrist.
I was medicated for quite a while and it worked really, really well for me. I was looking at getting back into employment.
2 years on, she's back to square one.
But then my psychiatrist retired and now I'm looking at getting re-diagnosed just so that I can be medicated again.
A state government plan aims to make it easier and cheaper to get diagnosed, allowing GPs to treat the disorder in children and adults.
This is a way to save families both time and money, which we know in today's world, time and money is precious.
Medication for ADHD is highly regulated due to the potential of abuse. A Sydney University study found medication poisonings increased fourfold in the decade to 2023.
Well, there are a range of safeguards already in place. I mean, Victoria pioneered SafeScripts, which helps us monitor the prescribing of all Schedule 8 drugs.
150 GPs will start training in September. Jack Morgan, Win News.
Financial abuse affects millions of Australians and is estimated to cost the economy nearly $11 billion annually. Now experts are urging everyone to recognise the warning signs.
It's a term that we don't often hear, but financial abuse is more common than you think, and it can be as literal as your partner controlling or preventing access to your own money.
It can be best described as the weaponising of money to hurt someone. It's something that tends to build over time, so it can be difficult to recognise.
The latest report from UNSW revealed financial abuse often occurs alongside emotional and psychological abuse, with the impacts more severe for older people, involving a trusted family member or carer. But experts are warning there's a long list of red flags to keep an eye out for.
Not having control over your money or being pressured by your partner to take out debt. Other red flags include having your work or your studies sabotaged, having your spending monitored, or maybe you feel scared to talk about money with your partner.
The abuse can occur before and after a partner separation, appearing alongside emotional manipulation and isolation, often impacting other areas of your life.
It can really force people to maintain a situation where they're really not being able to live their life independently, maybe even be safe from physical abuse or sexual abuse.
Often, abusers exploit bank accounts, make withdrawals and control credit cards, and it can quickly spiral.
It's those moments where it doesn't feel like a big deal early on, and then suddenly you can't use your own bank card to buy groceries or to pay for things that your kids need.
Help is always available. Meg Claridge, Win News.
Community groups are urging people affected by Victoria's bushfires to seek mental health support if they're struggling. Advocates say mental health needs to be a priority in the recovery process, as many are left traumatised by the devastation.
Some lost everything in the recent fires: homes, businesses, livestock and beloved pets. They're being reminded it's okay to seek help.
Farmers in particular have been doing it really tough for a long time. This is the last thing that they needed. It's the last thing anyone needed. But unfortunately, we'll continue to see some pretty serious mental health impacts.
After COVID lockdowns, drought, floods and the Black Summer bushfires of 2020, rural and regional communities have again been knocked down by this year's devastating fires.
Some people have been dealing with trauma for the last 6 years, and this has exacerbated that.
Some already have limited access to mental health resources.
We need to invest in long-term sustainable prevention models so that we're building the resilience and capability of a community to take care of themselves.
Advocates say now more than ever, support needs to be available.
People are only able to be successful and survive if all elements of their social and emotional health and well-being, including financial, is well.
Community groups are now making mental health support a priority in bushfire recovery and are encouraging people to look for warning signs, like loved ones isolating themselves, memory loss and fluctuating emotions.
People have reached out for mental health sooner, and that's really important because if we can start working with you and getting you the assistance that you need, and you're more likely to have a really positive recovery.
If you need support, contact Lifeline. Ella Power Bridger, Win News.
A cancer diagnosis can be one of the most difficult things to navigate, and for those wanting a family, treatment can potentially impact fertility. This World Cancer Day, one breast cancer survivor is sharing her journey to motherhood.
At just 27 years old, Gemma Milling found a lump on her chest.
There was something in the back of my mind that was just like, don't leave it.
That instinct proving crucial. A breast cancer diagnosis would soon follow.
It was 5 months of chemotherapy, a couple of months off to recover, and then a double mastectomy with immediate reconstruction.
As well as grappling with the odds of a cancer that claims more than 3,000 Australian lives each year, Gemma was also juggling another worry.
We'd been planning that year to start thinking about having a family. To be faced with the fact that that may not be possible was pretty brutal.
Chemotherapy can cause either temporary or, unfortunately, in some instances, permanent fertility loss.
My sister, on about 3 or 4 days after I was diagnosed, had her first bub, which was beautiful, but it was hard because the day he was born, I was having conversations about IVF.
She had a number of treatments that were the direct result of clinical trials.
That's a key aspect to some of the trials that we've run in the past and that we're currently running, is what can we do to optimise fertility?
Having just watched her daughter blow out the candles on her 4th birthday cake, Gemma says she's grateful to all the women who put their hands up to trial those treatments.
I can't imagine my life now, without those trials. I mean, I've got 2 kiddos.
Elsie Papworth, Win News.
Tim Robinson's here with Tuesday Sport now, and a former Bendigo Vixen's hosting a netball clinic in Northern Victoria.
Yeah, that's right, Jared. Shooter Ruby Barkmeyer will be part of the development session in a couple of weeks. We'll have more next. Plus, Delhi among the regional stars hitting their straps in the NBL as playoffs fast approach.
Incredibly fun, remarkably functional, and effortlessly stylish. Introducing the all-new Ford Puma. A compact SUV that really packs a punch. Looking good has never been this easy. Secure yours today. The all-new Ford Puma. Effortlessly stylish.
Well, round 10 of Emu Valley Cricket's underway with the first day of a 2-dayer played. Axe Creek hit the crease first in its match against Sedgwick, sitting at 192. West Bendigo got 186, with the second place United now batting in the Battle of the Gullies. California mustered 84 runs. Spring Gullies at 3 for 242. Top of the ladder, Manjarangs at 180, with Emu Creek set to take to the crease this weekend, while Morong has the bye. Former Vixen Ruby Barkmeyer will coach local players in a special training clinic at Nathalia Recreational Reserve later this month. The Bendigo-born stellar shooter will visit the Waiai Netball Club courts on Wednesday, February 18, giving fans and locals the chance to work on their netball skills with one of the greats. Session tickets are $15. A couple of regional Victorians are hitting their straps at the right time in the NBL as playoffs fast approach. Maryborough's Matthew Delabadova's 2 games back from a concussion layoff, and after helping the Sydney Kings beat Illawarra in his return game, he scored an important 8 points in just over 20 minutes of court time in their comeback victory over the Taipans, which sees the Kings hold on to second spot on the table.
This game was really important for us. We're looking at our destinies in our own hands, 5th or top 2, and we brought everything we got to the stadium.
Meanwhile, Shepparton's Elijah Pepper played big minutes and scored 19 points in the Wildcats' win over the Hawks to consolidate 5th spot. Dash Daniels didn't trouble the scoreboard in his 5 minutes in United's loss to New Zealand. Victorian wakeboarders are preparing for the final round in the Triple Crown Malibu Ride Series competition. Stop 2 saw the country's best descend on Mildura. Organisers have praised the good conditions over the 2 days of competition, which saw technical riders adding more grabs and spins to their competition runs. Mackenzie McCarthy took out the open women, while Noah Bollard led the way in the men's. The final stops later this month in Bundalong. And Jared, that's our night in sport.
Awesome. Thanks, Robbo. Coming up next is Jeong with your weather forecast, and tomorrow's looking mostly sunny.
There's a heap to love here at Strath Village. There's the new IGA with big brands and big wide aisles, not to mention a heap of fashion stores, great cafes and plenty of free parking. Meet me at the Village, Strath Village.
Welcome back. Fine and sunny across the region today following another cooler than average start to the morning. A total fire ban is in place for some areas tomorrow due to an extreme fire danger warning for central and north central districts. A big thank you to Mal for this beautiful sunrise over Golden Square. The colours are absolutely stunning. Let's showcase more of where we live. Email your weather pics to the address you see on your screen. Now let's look at the details from today. Kyneton was spot on its forecast top, maxing out around 2 o'clock. Bendigo struggled to feel warmer than the teens until after lunchtime. Hopetoun warmed pretty quickly after a chilly morning. Meanwhile, we saw plenty of sunshine in Swan Hill today, maxing out at a top of 31. Kerrang and Balranald copped fresh winds for most of the day. On the charts, a high in the Tasman, extensive ridge across Victoria as a trough sweeps across the state from the west tomorrow. A ridge of high pressure follows behind the trough and persists until Friday, ahead of a second broad trough moving in from the north. To the forecast for central Victoria, mostly sunny with fresh winds picking up later in the day. We could see a storm develop as well. An overnight low 15 in Castlemaine, heading to a top of 34. Kyneton reaching a top of 33 degrees. Charlton, we're expecting temps to reach a top of 38 degrees, and we're expecting those warm temperatures in Swan Hill and Balranald too. For Bendigo tomorrow, fine and sunny and around 5 degrees warmer than average, heading to a top of 36. And in Melbourne, a little bit more cloud coverage on the way with fresh winds pushing about. Looking at the days ahead for our region, more sunshine on Thursday as winds ease off. Clear skies persist on Friday, and on Saturday it's looking mostly sunny to start the weekend. That's all for weather tonight. Jared, back to you.